Today we're looking at surface area and volume of pyramids. Your essential question: how do I apply formulas? Your learning intention: I'm learning to find the surface area of solid figures, so find the surface area of these two figures. Remember, your surface area is 2 times your base area plus your perimeter times your height. So pause the video now and see if you can complete those two warm-up questions on your own. Well, I hope you tried to do those on your own. So the first thing you have to look at, your base here is a triangle. To find the area of your base, that's going to be the base of the triangle times its height divided by 2. If you're looking at the triangle, do you have everything you need to complete that? No. You've got to find the height. So we've talked before about how this creates two congruent right triangles. If this whole thing is 10, then this has to be 5, and the hypotenuse is 13. To find the height here, the square root of 13 squared minus 5 squared. So the height of my triangle is 12. So we found our height. Now we're ready to finish. For the area of my base, it's going to be 10 times 12 divided by 2. So half of 12 is 6. 10 times 6 is 60 millimeters squared. The perimeter. We've got to find our perimeter next. 13 plus 13 plus 10. That would be 26 plus 10 would be 36. The height of my figure. The height of the figure from one edge to the other is 14. Okay, let's put it all together with our formula. Our surface area is equal to 2 times 60 plus 36 times 14 624 and that would be millimeters squared. Okay, now on the next one, the surface area of this cylinder is 104 pi meters squared. Find the height. This time we're working backwards. We still use the same equation. But we know for our base area, that's going to be pi r squared. We know that our r is 4. We don't know what the height is. So let's put in what we can now. 104 pi is equal to 2 times pi times 4 squared plus 2 times pi times 4 times h. Okay, if you're looking at all of these numbers, all of these terms, what do all of these terms have in common? Well, they've got 2 pi, so I can divide 2 pi out. What is 1/2 of 104? That would be 52. 52 is equal to 16, 4 squared is 16, plus 4 times h. So let's solve. I'm going to subtract 16 from both sides. (52 minus 16 gives me 36. (36 is equal to 4h. Divide both sides by 4. And 9 is equal to h, and that is 9 meters. So as you can see, when we do the surface area and we know what the surface area is, if it's in terms of pi, we can usually divide out 2 pi before we ever really get started, and it makes our life so much easier. So what about a pyramid? Remember, a pyramid is not the same size. It comes up to a point. This is a pyramid. Comes up to a point. So your surface area is your base area, because you only have one base, plus 1/2 of your PL. P is the perimeter of the base, and L is the slant height. But what is a slant height? The slant height is the height of each lateral face of a right pyramid, or the lateral surface of a cone. Okay, the height of each lateral face of a pyramid, if you're looking down here, this would be your lateral face. Your lateral face is a triangle. You're looking for the altitude of that triangle, that is your slant height, or the lateral surface of a cone. So, find the surface area of the following. We need to know the base area. We need to know the perimeter, and we need to know the slant height. Okay, because this is a square, the base is 8 times 8, which would give me 64 feet squared. The perimeter, I've got 4 sides, and each of them are 8 inches, or 8 feet. 4 times 8 is 32 feet. Slant height is given to us. It is 16 feet. Okay, take a minute and make sure you understand where those numbers come from, because we're going to put it all into our equation now. My surface area is equal to my base area, 64, plus 1/2 of 32, that's my perimeter, times 16. Okay, 64 plus, instead of 1/2, I'm going to put 0.5 times 32 times 16, and I get 320. 320 what? Feet squared would be the answer. Base area, perimeter of the base, and your slant height. Those are the three numbers you have to find. Okay, once again, we're given everything we need. It's a square pyramid. These are both square pyramids. So you've got to find your base area, your perimeter, and your slant height. My base area is 4 times 4, which is 16. That would be inches squared. My perimeter, I've got 4 sides, each of them is 4 inches long. It is also 4 times 4, or 16. This time it is simply inches, not inches squared. The slant height is given to us as 6.3 inches. So putting it all together, my surface area is my base area, 16, plus 1/2 of my perimeter, 16, times my slant height, which is 6.3. Once again, we're going to put it in the calculator all at one time. 16 plus 0.5 times 16 times 6.3. 66.4. That would be inches squared, because we're looking at area. Granted, it's surface area, but it is still area. Okay, on the next one, we know the height, but we do not know the slant height. What do you think we're going to do to find that slant height? If you said to find it using Pythagorean's theorem, you would be correct. So we know that we've got this over here. If the whole thing is 6, this piece is 3. So I'm looking at a triangle. 4, 3, and this is my L. This is my slant height. Pythagorean's theorem says a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So my slant height will be equal to the square root of 4 squared plus 3 squared. You end up with 5. Now, let's put it all together. For my base is a square that is 6 by 6. That gives me 36 inches squared. My perimeter, I have 4 sides. Each side is 6 inches. 4 times 6 inches is 24 inches. We're ready to put it all together. My surface area is equal to 36 plus 1/2 times 24 times 5. And you end up with 96. And that would be inches squared. So if you're looking at this, you've got to find your base area, your slant height, and you have to have your perimeter of the base. What about volume? Volume is simply 1/3 of the base area times the height. So you've got to know your height to be able to do this. I have a right triangle. So my base area for the right triangle will be 3 times 4. If you're looking at it, you're looking at the legs. You always use those legs. Three times 4 divided by 2. And that gives me 6. My height is 4. So my volume is 1/3 times my 6, which is my base area, times 4. 1/3 of 6 is 2. 2 times 4 is 8. That will be miles to the 3rd power. Can you find the height of the next one? Yeah, they've drawn you the right triangle, so you should know how to find the height. Pause the video and see if you can get it done on your own. Okay, for my height, I am looking for a leg. That means I have to subtract the square root of 9 squared minus 6.5 squared. I think it's going to be an approximation. And I get 6.224, so it's about 6.23, no, 22. Okay, so what is the area of my base? That's going to be 13 times 13, or 13 squared. And that is 169. Now, putting it all together, your volume is equal to 1/3 times my base area, which is 169, times my height, which is 6.22. Okay, so parentheses 1 divided by 3, parentheses, times 169 times 6.22, and I end up with 350.4 centimeters cubed. Okay, for the perimeter, let's pause the video and see if you can do it on your own now. Okay, if this one's 6, this one's 6. If this is 9, this is 9. If this whole thing is 11 3/4, but this one is 5, 11 3/4 minus 5 gives me 6 3/4. So what is my perimeter? Start up here. 6 plus 5 plus 9 plus 6 3/4 plus 9 plus 6 plus 11 3/4. Okay, 3/4 is 0.75. So if I use the decimal equivalent, it's going to make my life a little bit easier. 6 plus 5 plus 9 plus 6.75 plus 9 plus 6 plus 11.75. 53.5. That would be 53 1/2. Inches. Okay, now, what about the area? I've got two pieces. This is 6 times 11 3/4 plus 9 times 6 3/4. Six times 11.75 plus 9 times 6.75. I get 131.25. And that would be inches squared, but we know that 0.25 is also 1/4. 131 1/4 inches squared. So, how do you know you're successful? When you can find surface area and volume of any pyramid. So we're looking at surface area and volume, this time of pyramids. But we're also looking at perimeter and area of composite figures.